Hello and welcome to A Cup of Conversation on BRT TV. My name is John Guzzi, I'm your host once again, and in the studios I have two lovely ladies, and it's a very interesting and important story that Barbara Willbye has to share with you all, and also she's brought in a very close friend, a support mechanism for her today, because it's going to be a very emotional programme. Jane Yates is joining us as well. So I'm sure you've heard about Barbara Willbye's jump. She is scared of heights and she did a tandem paraglide very recently, and this is the subject of today's programme. So let's find out more about today's guests. First of all, Barbara and Jane, welcome to the programme.
Thank you.
Now, Barbara, it's been a while since we last chatted on TV. You were a guest many years ago, weren't you?
Yes, a lot of years.
And that was, I think, with Mo Watts, and we were talking about...
Children in Need.
Children in Need.
Festival we done one Christmas.
Yes. That was a long time ago. So welcome back.
Thank you.
To the programme, with your lovely pink hair. Different from last time. Although I do know that you always go pink nearing October time, pink October.
I've been doing it all year round now because people are always asking me about it, and it gives me the opportunity to explain about tulips to them and get recognition. Because initially it was sponsorship for tulips, but I went blue, pink and black some years ago, if you remember.
A very, very, very courageous thing that you are doing with your hair. Not everyone can colour that hair, or pull it off even, but you're doing very well.
Thank you.
But tulips, that you just mentioned, is the subject again today, because it's close to your heart, and we'll find out why in a minute. But also I'd like to say welcome to Jane. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And for supporting Barbara along her journey. It's the first time we've met. It's a pleasure to have you here, Jane. And I hope that we'll find out more about your involvement with what's been going on recently.
Yes.
It's been your journey as well as Barbara's, hasn't it, I think?
Yes.
So, Barbara, I have to say that I was shocked to read on Facebook, on your post, that unfortunately, after years of being supportive for tulips, you actually had a brush with cancer yourself.
That's right.
And that you posted that you would be doing, in the month of September, something that would be a very big challenge for you because you are scared of heights. I didn't know that either about you. We learned a lot about you over the past few weeks. And that you would do a tandem paraglide in honour or raising awareness and money for tulips.
Yeah.
So I want to say get well after that. And you're looking very, very beautiful as well. Looking well. Oh, that doesn't sound too superficial, but you're looking very, very well. So tell us a bit about your journey. I mean, you've always supported tulips. How did you get involved with tulips in the first place?
When I first moved to Cyprus, I think I might have told you before, I was retiring early and decided that if I got involved in anything, it would be raising money for charity, fundraising, voluntarily. Initially, as you know, it was children in need, and then I read a lot about tulips and looked into it a lot and realised that they needed all the support and help they could get. And therefore I started fundraising for them. Small at first, but gradually I did bigger and bigger things. And then, as unfortunately you all know, last year I wasn't well, so I was not able to do anything at all. Thankfully and miraculously, I'm still here today, and that is thanks to the medical help here, my doctor and the support I had here, I must admit, in Cyprus. I'm now able to help again, but not to the same levels as before. So this jump was always something I swore I'd never do. People had suggested it to me in the past. And I wanted something that was going to be a challenge, that I could justify asking people to give their money to tulips for me doing this, to sponsor me. And to be honest, it was amazing, the amount of people who have just come to me with money because they know me so well. And it got to the stage where, obviously, when I said I would do it, I was going to go ahead regardless. It was the day, and I had to do it. And it's done. It's finished with. I'm sitting here talking to you today, so I've survived it.
Yeah.
But it's a one-off. Definitely a one-off.
Definitely a one-off. Now, I have to say, actually, at the time of recording of this programme, the jump was actually yesterday. So that was a very good event. I mean, that was the 25th of September, 2019. And my colleague, Engin Dervish, he went to film, so we do have some footage thanks to my colleague Engin, and you'll be seeing more of the actual jump and what happened on the day in his programme Vox Pop later on. But I have to say, a very courageous thing. Now, Jane, when we suggested that Barbara came in, whether before or after the jump, she said, well, can I bring my close friend and support, Jane Yates? And I said, well, of course you can. I'm not going to say no to anybody who wants to come in. But tell us about, you know Barbara. I mean, she's saying that, I'm scared of heights. Is she really scared, or is she being just brave? Or tell us a bit about...
She is terrified of heights. We've travelled many times from Gurney to Lefkosha, and Barbara will sit as far as she can to the side of the car, away from the drop on the side of the road. She is absolutely terrified of heights. Can't go anywhere, even if we're going in the lift in one of the shops, she can't look out the lift or look out the escalator. Absolutely terrified. But when she said she was going to do this jump, I knew she would do it, because she's such strong willpower, and her willpower and her strength got her through her illness, and the jump was a doddle after what she's faced.
Yes, I think, well, you put it very well there, Jane, but I don't think it is a doddle when you're standing at the end of the cliff, and Özgür Gökaşan, who is the man behind the tandem paraglider who took you on your journey in the air, because I've done this as well. I've done some filming there. He's a very good friend, Özgür. But when you're there at the end of the cliff and he says, right, run and lift your legs, and that's it. There's no going back. You can't say stop all of a sudden, because you can't stop. But I have to say personally that I love it. I mean, I love being in the air. For me, it would be a doddle to do that. But you wanted to... Why did you particularly want to face your worst challenge? I mean, if Jane is right in saying that you can't even go on the Lefkosha Guinea Road without looking at and getting frightened of the drop there, which isn't even a drop, it's a wide road as well. Why did you think, I want to face my biggest fear? What was the incentive, really? To get it over and done with once and for all?
I do believe if you want someone to sponsor you for something, and you want them to give money, even though it's for a good cause, it's got to be something that's out of your comfort zone. You can't expect, oh, I'm going to go and have my hair dyed pink again, will you all sponsor me? Or, I like paragliding, will you sponsor me? It's got to be facing a fear. And that is why I think the support came through so much, if I'm honest. Why did I pick it? Because people had suggested it in the past, and I've always said, you must be joking. Did I lose my marbles? Did something happen to me while I was ill? And I don't know. I don't know, but I've done it now, and hopefully, we've got a lot of money for tulips. Well, I know it's gone beyond what I expected, but an exact figure, obviously, you know what it's like, Jan, I can't give you that at the moment.
Yes, of course.
But it's gone way over what I'd expected to raise, so I'm really, really happy about that. And I just feel, I really can't explain it. I don't know what happened, what made me do it, but I did it, and I'm proud I did it. I'm not going to say I enjoyed it, and as I said to Oscar in the air, I didn't do this to enjoy it, I did it for tulips and to raise money and recognition. And sitting here, that's what I'm doing. So it had the desired effect. It raised money, it's getting recognition for tulips. We're sitting here talking about it.
Yeah.
Hopefully the viewers are listening about it and are ready to support them. As we both know, they need the support they can get.
They do need all the support that they can get, and many of the programmes that we do here at BRT centre around many charities, including tulips or other cancer charities or children's charities, animal charities. There are so many charities out there that need support, and tulips being one of them. Unfortunately, you have to go through the system. You had to go through the system yourself. I mean, it's easy to say, oh, I'm a supporter, and let's do this, and let's go and support this charity event. But you've actually gone through the gates, unfortunately.
I have done.
So now, having gone through the experience of being guided through tulips, and Razi Koja Ismail, who is the chairman, she is, determined to help as many people as she can.
That's right.
Hands-on. How do you feel about, and be honest with this, how do you feel about the treatment that you received? Being an expat here, was it easy for you to go through the treatment? Did you understand what was going on? Did they explain things to you step by step?
It's very difficult because the nurses in Near East don't talk English, very good English, which is, it's understandable. My oncologist, Dr. Roma, he was fantastic. His English is limited, but it's good enough, and he could let me. But in honesty, the support tulips can give you, moral support, it's not just about finance, you know. Obviously, they don't finance it. It's the moral support you need. You need to know what's happening. You need advice of them. You know, the government aren't always forthcoming with the medication. It can be quite difficult to get it in.
Yeah.
And without tulips there to help you and explain what's happening, you haven't got any support at all. And their nurses are fantastic. I didn't need home care or anything. I had my husband, I had my good friends.
Yeah.
And fortunately, we could afford my treatment. But we're lucky, we're blessed to have been able to do that, thank God. But there's so many people who can't.
Yes.
And as I say, as a foreigner, as an English person, you don't really know what's happening, you don't understand, but you've got tulips who'll come through it with you and explain it.
Yeah.
And also attend the hospital with you if you want them to.
So having them there, morally, was enough for you to actually be able to get through some of the experiences that you had to go through.
Yeah.
And so they are important. I mean, tulips isn't just for expats or for local, it's for anyone who goes through the trauma of having cancer. So this is something that is for everyone in the TRNC living here. Money raised stays here, goes to all the treatment, to the people who need it, to the doctors, to whatever.
Everything
is
part
covered.
of the way, they are there to assist you with. They cannot obviously pay for everyone's treatment, but they can assist with those who need it, and they will. And they will at every step of the way, whatever your nationality. Yeah. Even Cypriots. Yeah. They are there for everyone.
It's good to know.
Yeah, and what a lot of people don't know is actual Turkish Cypriots raise a lot of the funds that tulips have via donations from their wages and everything. What we give as expats in our fundraising is minimal. And I think people do need to know this. Yeah.
For instance, here at BRTK, because we know Razia Koca Ismail, the head of the association, because she used to work here. She was a newsreader in Greek. She actually retired from here, so she knows everyone here. So she had the chance to knock on everyone's door and say, well, can you give some of your wages? And so automatically it's taken out from our wages, however much you want to donate every month. Yeah. You're right, so there is that system here. But I know a lot of people are fundraising. A lot of things are going on throughout the whole year. And we got, we recently had on last Sunday, Veni Vici in the Pasta Marathon. We've got the Blizzard Sisters doing their walk. Don't know how they're going to cope with that 200 kilometres, but you know, Pink October is coming around the corner. So a lot is going on, but what you've done is courageous. And so I want to go back to Jane. So have you been a big support, do you think, morally? Were there times when you think Barbara would have said, I can't do it, I'm going to give up?
The cancer or the jump?
Both. Actually. Oh. Tell us about your journey together.
I've known for a long time that Barbara wasn't well, probably getting on for 2 years. And it was something that was niggling away at the back of our minds, but something that you just didn't want to actually speak it out. And then, of course, things deteriorated quite quickly, and it was soon apparent that there was a grave problem. And Barbara, I was in England at the time, but because we're so close, I had a sixth sense that there was something wrong. And I rang her and she said, no, I'm not going to tell you anything till you come home. I said, no, please tell me now, because I have a feeling something is majorly wrong. And that's when she told me she'd been diagnosed with lung cancer. And so when we came back, we sat and had a really long talk about it and shared all the tears and the frustration and such like. And it was frustrating to see my friend wasting away before me, and it was very frustrating to think that nothing Kevin, Barbara's husband, could do, nothing I could do would actually solve the problem. We couldn't solve it. The only thing was, it was all in Barbara's hands, And sometimes it was frustrating because I wanted her to eat. She couldn't eat because she couldn't swallow from the radiotherapy. And it was frustrating to sort of try and support her, but also push her along a little bit to sort of keep going.
Yeah.
But then you started to turn the corner, didn't you?
Yeah.
And Christmas came, which I didn't think we would see. And she's just gone in leaps and bounds after that, because
Amazing.
I really did not think that she would make it.
An amazing story. The reason why is because even though you worked so many years for supporting tulips, and one of the biggest things is early diagnosis, or don't be afraid, go to a doctor straight away. There was a bit of a delay there as well, and a bit of unspoken sort of like worry between the both of you. But the support that you've given each other is amazing as well, and that sort of friendship is an important friendship. That's the reason why you're here today as well, Jane. Because without you, maybe Barbara couldn't have got through this by herself without close friends and her husband. But do you think that seeing Barbara go through this, has that made you more aware about yourself personally as well? Like, well, if I did find something wrong with me, I shouldn't delay, or, I mean, has it changed your perspective on cancer?
It's changed my perspective on cancer, because I think now you need to check regularly, and you need to be, anything that's slightly different about your body now, it needs addressing, and it needs addressing well.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Barbara had a wonderful oncologist who, he supported you every step of the way, didn't he?
Yeah,
Very much so. And I have to say, you wouldn't get that support from an individual in England. I know it's to be paid for out here, but the support Barbara had is far better than anything you could get in England.
That's good to know.
Far
Very
better.
good.
And we have to add, I've got a very good friend who's quite involved in tulips.
Yes,
who also
and she has a
helped
very
me
good friend who's very involved.
much, because she's been there, Sue Till, as you know.
Yeah, I know Sue, yes.
She was fantastic, wasn't she, Jane, as well?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. Well, you're all fantastic ladies, and the story that you've shared with us today is an amazing story. I want to ask you now, you said never again to Özgür, and you landed in Karamanlı or after your flight, but did you, when you were flying, were your eyes closed? Did you see anything? What was it like for you, that big fear? Because you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. You're strapped to Özgür. And, I mean, did you look around? Did you say, oh, actually, well, I'm scared, but it's not as bad as I thought it was? Or what was the feeling like, Barbara?
I have to say, he was absolutely fantastic and had the patience of a saint.
Yeah.
And I had my eyes closed a lot of the time, but obviously you've got to have a little look. You can't help it, especially when Oscar's saying, there's Lapta, there's Elsa and Jack, and look, there's the sea. And I think a lot of the time my answer was, I don't want to, I'm really sorry, can you take me down?
He can't take you down until the right time, but...
He did explain that he had to go slowly. But yeah, I did have a look, and I don't think it helped me, but I'm glad I did look, because you can't be that far up and not have a look.
Yeah.
And I probably peeped more than I thought, but if I'm honest, the eyes were probably closed more than open.
But you did it.
I
did it. That is something that you can be proud of, really, and say, well, I faced my biggest challenge. Not everyone can do that. I was saying off air to you before the interview, on a personal level, I can swim, I like swimming, but I can't dive. And I admire people who can dive, who can control their breathing and go under the water and everything. And if someone said to me, will you do a sponsored dive? I'd say, no. I probably start feeling like I was drowning.
I think you've just set yourself a challenge, Jane.
Well, I don't hold me to that now. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy. One thing is saying it and saying I'm going to do it. And obviously you had a lot of support. How many people came out? Because I know you were saying people come down and please support me. How many friends did you have waiting for you?
Unfortunately, some of my really close friends as well who were involved were not able to come, were they?
That's right.
But there was more than I expected, because everybody was ready on Friday and it was cancelled due to the weather.
Yes, yes.
So a few of the people, but I didn't dream. I don't really know how many were there.
Well, what happened? Were there lots of people clapping and cheering? And you said, let me sit down.
I mean, I had my lovely little... Unfortunately, my twins weren't there. The Almond Holiday Village were big supporters of mine, and they're my Turkish family. And we had Zervsha and Ali and the baby. The twins are 8 and they actually went out looking to collect money for their Auntie Barbara. They're fantastic, Asher and Sarah. But they were at school. I think you know them actually. Your child goes to the same school as them.
Nejat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't really know.
I think there was about 30 there, 30 to 35.
I would have said minimum.
Yeah,
definitely
30,
minimum.
35.
Yeah. There's a lot of cars.
There's
I
a
know
lot.
that I could see them from the sky.
Yeah, you can see that. So you did see it a little bit then. You
Yeah.
noticed the cars.
He made me look.
All Özgür's fault. All
Yeah.
Özgür's fault, isn't it?
I've
He's a
got to
great guy.
say, they were fantastic highlight and they sponsored it all the way.
Yeah.
You know, I couldn't have wished to have been in safer hands.
And as you said, you don't know the final figure because it's too early to say yet, collecting, but you're happy with the amount raised.
Very.
Definitely worth it. It wasn't worth it just for, 100 TL. You made definitely, it was worth you doing that jump.
It's well over 10,000, Tilla.
No, really?
Yes.
You shocked me now.
I don't want to say till I do the final
But
count.
it's over 10,000.
Well
we know.
over.
Well over.
So, isn't that amazing, Jane? I mean,
Absolutely superb.
when you saw, you were there, weren't you, at the
Yes.
landing point?
Yes.
What did you
I saw
think?
her go up. I saw her be collected because we met at the landing site.
Right.
And then
They take you up
they
to the-
take you from there. And she was shaking then. And it was just amazing.
Did you think, when she got up to the mountain top, do you think she might back down when she
No.
sees it? You didn't think? you know-
Never.
We
Never.
knew that she was going to go through it. We
I
knew
knew,
that it was
I
going to...
knew she would do it. I knew she would do it. I had every confidence. People said, oh, it would be no problem if she does back out because, she's tried. I said, she won't back out.
Yeah.
She won't back out. She has such a strong willpower. And I think the strong willpower is what helped her beat her cancer.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Tough lady.
Tough lady.
Tough lady. It is really, really important to stress here that we might make it sound fun, or it might be light-hearted because we want to make it a fun programme. But cancer is affecting so many people so often now. The number of people who are affected is increasing. And like I said, I didn't know that you were going through this until you actually said, I'm doing this jump because of what I've been through. And I was like shocked, and we were like, and Denise Felix, my colleague on the radio, and I said, well, we have to invite Barbara in. We have to get this story out because, this can't be just kept a secret. It's got to be out there. And, we did support you mentally. We couldn't be there on the day, although my colleague Engin, as we said, filmed. But it is very important. And this is maybe encouragement for other people now to overcome their fears. Do you think you've made an awareness? Do you think are people coming up to you and say, you know what, we didn't realise how important it was, and here's some more money, or can we support tulips in other ways?
Yeah, I think they did, and I think what I'd like to say is everyone hears cancer now. They hear the C word and they associate it with death. And yes, in a lot of cases it is, but the treatment has come so far forward now. And you've just got to believe, that they can help you and want them to. It's all very, so people said when I was, oh, you're so brave. You're not brave, you've got 2 choices. You take the treatment, you do as your doctor says, and you fight it, or you sit back and think there's no hope. But I don't think now cancer is as frightening a word as it used to be.
Yeah.
As I say, the treatment is so advanced, especially here, because chemotherapy didn't work for me. I wouldn't have survived in the UK. What worked for me is a new drug called immunotherapy. And it was, honestly, to me, it was like a miracle, wasn't it, Jane? It just started working after 3 treatments.
Wow.
And within 6 treatments, the difference in myself,
You felt it?
you could see it in every way. And when Dr. Roma came to me and said, your cancer's gone down from something like 300, the count, to something like 80 after 4 treatments, you can imagine how I felt.
Yeah, amazing.
Because unfortunately, my chin was too near the heart. They couldn't operate. They had to shrink it.
Yeah.
And this is what nothing else done until I had the immunotherapy.
It sounds like you're getting the best treatment that you could get here in the Charency. Maybe even if you were in the UK, like you said, you might not have got the same treatment, or you might not have been offered it even. Who knows?
It's still under tests.
It's under test. But all I have to say is, you know, you are both brave ladies, because to support each other and to get through it the other side and to be able to smile at the end is amazing. What's after this? Before we round up the interview, you've done this now. This is the pinnacle. You can relax now. You can have a break. You can sit back and put your feet up and say, oh, I've done my bit. Although I know you won't be sitting down. You've got lots going on. But are you still supporting the charity in other ways? What's going on now? How can other people support Tulips? What would you say to the viewers out there now? How could they support Tulips in the next few months?
There's lots of ways they can support them. There's lots of events I'm sure going to go on October. Someone's already approached me about one. How much time or energy I've got to give to it is another matter.
Yeah.
But if they can support all the events that are going on, it would be fantastic. Another thing I'm not sure people are aware they can do, they can actually do a standing order for even a small amount of lira, 5 lira a month standing order to the charity itself. It goes a long way collectively.
Yeah.
I mean, a few years ago, I remember Razia did a phone-in thing where you could phone in and donate 5 lira by a phone call. But, you know, 5 lira a month from their wages, or just supporting it, or just making people recognise it. Not everyone has got spare cash here, obviously. A lot of the expats now need to earn money, work to get their income up.
Yeah.
And they haven't got money to spare. But there's other ways as well. It's like Tash. She does the food bank down at Amor Tanning and Beauty.
Yeah.
You know, a packet of rice a month or pasta.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the Turkish people, especially on a very low wage, can't afford to feed their family.
Yeah.
And that pasta can go a long way with tomato or vegetable.
Of course.
Any kind of staple food with a long shelf life that people can donate. You might have something in your cupboard and you're never going to use it. Then if you could live near Alsenjak, if you don't, Tulips are in Nicosia.
Yeah.
You can drop it in the shop in Nicosia. I'm sure there's somewhere in Famagusta that would be willing to take it in.
Yeah. And of course we have lots of areas now where you can leave your old clothes, can't you?
That's right.
You know, they're posted at different locations around the islands.
Yeah.
Where if you've got old clothes you want to throw away, don't throw them away. Donate them, because they can be sold in the charity shop and raise money that way.
Yeah.
There's always something that we can do. All of us can help in some small way.
These clothes banks, Jan, people might think, well, oh, no one can wear that, it's not possible. Then the ones that are in that condition go off for reconditioning anyway.
Yeah.
Or they go off to be sold for other things.
Yeah.
So even if you feel that, you know, this dress is too old and no one can wear this, it can still earn money for Tulips.
Yeah.
Still put it in the bin, no one knows you put it, don't be embarrassed.
Yeah.
Whatever the condition of
anonymous.
clothes, they can use them. And they can also use the beautiful ones that you want to give as well, along with the stall at Lambusa and also the shopping. Well, you've got a shop in Nicosia and you've also got one in Alsenjak.
Yeah. So lots of ways to help and to support. And of course there's the Saturday market stall at Lambusa where you can, you know, donate there or even volunteer to man the stall as well.
That's right.
Lots of things going on. I just want to say thank you very much once again for taking time out today to come to BRT to share your story. And who knows what's around the corner, maybe another challenge next year, I don't know, maybe they'll...
I think you're doing that one for me now, Jan.
I'll put myself up there.
Yeah, I think you put yourself there, Jan.
You could do one together.
Yeah, we can do a sponsored dive, can't we?
I'm scared of deep water as well, you know.
We'll get back to each other on that one, Barbara, but Barbara Willbye, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you, Jan.
Congratulations on your successful jump.
Thank you.
And thank you for all that you've done, and good luck with you know, your treatment, future treatment, and I wish you all the best. And you look beautiful, you look gorgeous, fantastic.
You'd say that anyway.
I always say that. You look great. And Jane, thank you very much for coming in today and
My
supporting. Your support is very valuable to Barbara, we know that. And you know, she wants to say thank you in that way by bringing you in today to support her.
Thank you.
And we thank you for what you've shared on the programme. And has it made you more determined to carry on supporting each other and to...
Oh, we'll always support each other.
Yeah.
We've been friends for a long time. We were acquaintances before we were friends. So, and then we became friends. When I moved to Cyprus, this lady invited me to her 50th birthday party to make us aware, for us to make friends. So, and our friendship went from there.
And now it's even stronger.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you once again, Jane,
Thank you.
for coming in today. And see you again soon, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully. Thank you, Jan, and thank you for always supporting our cause.
You're more than welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barbara. And with that, we've come to the end of a very interesting chat with Barbara Willbye and Jane Yates. Thank you for watching the programme. Until next week, have a great week. Bye-bye.